Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers and listeners, wherever you are. Welcome again to another broadcast of the Ashford Garley Live Show right here on Bridge Radio Africa. My name is Volcano Shelton. I'm the co-host of the program. Bringing you the program this evening is Wednesday. We'll say March 3rd, 2021, 8 p.m. here in the U.S. and especially the East Coast, and that of 1 a.m. in Liberia and those countries in the GMT zone, for instance, England and so forth. We want to welcome all of you listeners wherever you are. Welcome to the program this evening. We're going to have a great discussion. We're looking at land rights and disputes in Liberia. But it's not a situation that has just come onto Liberia. It's all over the continent, especially those countries where there's been, war and a breakdown in the rule of law. Sierra Leone is one typical example. I was speaking with someone from Sierra Leone, and they had the same problem with the land being encroached upon, and also people go and resell your property. That takes place also in the Ivory Coast, which also went through its own civil war. So Liberia is not just the place where the situation is of existence. Is all over the continent of Africa, especially those countries where there've been the breakdown of rule of law. So this evening, I have a wonderful guest. We'll be discussing this topic, but I just want to say welcome, all of you wonderful people out there, wherever you are. Just the other day, a family uh, member being disgruntled over the money that was supposed to be received by the family. Apparently, he didn't get his cut. So in the Johnsonville area, he took police and what they call the Caterpillar, the heavy machine, and they went out there and demolished the only high school in the area. And that's a big one. So imagine what are some of the other things happening. But tonight we want to welcome all of you, our viewers, Raymond Clark. You're out there in the Texas area, Alvin Perry, Carmen Flomo, Jefferson Coco, Ford Morrison, Jack Much, my man. Welcome to the show this evening. If you're celebrating your birthday, we say welcome and hope you're having a great time celebrating your birthday. You have a few more hours to go. Whatever the occasion is this evening, we say good evening and welcome to British Radio Africa, Ashford Garley Live. Ashford, we want to also wish you well wherever you are this evening. We know that you're probably watching and viewing or listening to the program. We also want to say thank you to our sister radio stations in Liberia that simulcast our broadcast. That would be Top FM 105.3 in Grangita County. That's in Zwedru, the capital city. We also want to remember Joy FM 101.5 and that of Live FM 104.1. Again, if you just joining us, we say welcome, Jerry Dobley. You're welcome to the house. I think this is going to be a wonderful discussion, so we want you to share the video. Like Ashford always says, and I like that line, grab the popcorn, grab the popcorn. Don't be selfish, invite a friend. Don't enjoy yourself. Because we're going to have a good discussion. So I just want to say welcome again if you're just joining us. This is Ashford Garley Live. Let me go to my studio guest. I will add a title, the legendary journalist and veteran journalist, Mr. Moses D. Sandy, who is also a career social worker here in Americas. No need for you to go through that long biography.
No,
So,
no.
so we say welcome this evening. I believe you're schooled in the topic, so you know what we're about to talk about. But I just want to say welcome in a special way. I hope you have a great time with us here in studios tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity, Buchanan. It's always pleasing to come and be a part of the broadcast on Bridge Radio. So let me say thank you to you and my friend and brother Ashford Garley for the opportunity. It's pleasing to
And
be
we
here.
love having you too. We love having you because of your expertise in many of the areas. As a journalist, you're well informed, and so sometimes it's good to bring you because you do the research and you know what you're talking about. On many occasions, I've had people call me off the record and say that guy is a very sound guy.
Thank you.
We hope to have him most of the time, on the program. So, but we're talking about land rights tonight and land dispute. But I just wanted to look at the definition of land dispute. Land dispute is a disagreement over the control, okay, the control, the ownership or
Hmm.
disposition of land between two or more parties, sometimes by a state, other times by private party. And in the case, private party can be you against me,
Hmm.
a business against a business, state, to a business, community, so that's land dispute. And then we also talk about land rights. So I'll give you the opportunity to tell us what land rights is about as we try to look at both sides of the spectrum tonight.
Well, like you rightly said, when we speak about land right, we're talking about right to ownership, ownership to our property. And even the 1986 Constitution of Liberia provides for that an individual cannot be deprived. Anyone will uh, appropriately, through legal means, acquire a property. The person has a legal right to that property. That would be considered a land right. And so today, what we see happening in our country, we see that this right is being violated by other individuals in our society, which undermines the rule of law. And this problem, like you said earlier, is very pervasive. It's all over the place. It affecting almost every sector of our country. Hmm.
So, you know, and usually after a civil war, that's when this becomes very prevalent. And you and I know that because we grew up in the normal times of Liberia. We didn't have this kind of, people taking people property and just sell it without any regards. They don't even know who owns the land, but because the rightful owner may be out of the country as a result of the civil war, and they've been watching the neighbor, who, and they see that these lands are not being utilized and used. But those people have the original deeds. Some of those deeds were back from the 60s, 50s, they call it the mother deed. And,
Yeah.
and then they sell these people property. But what happens here is that the buyers go to work and quickly build on these properties. And when
Hmm.
these people come now to claim the land, then all hell breaks loose. That's the
Yeah.
situation.
Absolutely. What we see happening in Liberia today is a byproduct of the 40-year civil war that we had in the country. A lot of people fled the country. A lot of people were murdered. A lot of people willingly, chose to leave and seek asylum in other countries. So some people with criminal minds took advantage of that, and today properties of those people, are being sold to other people in the country. Uh, this is not unique to ordinary people. We even have churches that are involved in this. We have organizations that are involved in this. We have family members that are, undermining the rights of other family members as well. So this is a huge problem for Kano. If I may just say something about Nimba. You and I know this. The Mandingos um, that resided in Nimba County were constrained to leave because of the Civil War. When the Civil War was raging, Mandingos were one of the sought after groups. So the Mandingos that resided in Nimba County, most of them fled. And what happened? It is reported in the media that the guilds and the manors allegedly um, took advantage of the opportunity and decided to encroach on the properties of those people, and sometimes even deny after the war subsided, deny to give these people their properties. As I speak to you right now, there's a lawsuit in at the ECOWAS court in the amount of $500 million.
Wow, that's the
Yeah,
budget of Liberia.
yeah, $500 million lawsuit filed by the Madingos against the Guilds and Manors in Nima County because of illegal possession of the property. You can't treat people like that, man. I'm not trying to be judgmental yet, but to just come and illegally take over someone else's property, uh, that's a recipe for more chaos, and
And
that could be
and, and,
another
and there
big
was a there was a
problem.
research that talked about most of the violence now in Liberia is aligned with land dispute. And when
Senility.
you're talking about ostracizing a whole community,
Mhm.
illegal tribe in the country, the Mandingos,
Yeah.
that has the
Mhm.
propensity to create a county war. And
Of
that could
course,
spill,
that can take us back to
to create
another
a
civil
country.
war again. Yeah. Hmm. That can take us back to another civil war if this problem is not resolved. You know, people have, people have been killed. Um, a few years ago in Nima County, not Nima, rather in Margibi County, 13 persons were murdered um, in a land dispute. There was a dispute that involved the former senator of Margibi County, a security team. It is reported that in that violence, that land dispute crisis, 12 citizens of Margibi County were murdered in cold blood, and this problem is all over Liberia. You come to Monrovia, the problem is there. You go to Lofa, the problem is there. You go to Maryland County, the problem is there. I'm sure you can speak to that, Volcano.
And what is interesting here, Mr. Sandy, is that,
Hmm.
you know, we in the diaspora are the
Yeah.
one who are the ones rather who are at a disadvantage, because we're here.
Hmm.
Somebody calls you and say, "Oh, Mr. Sandy, I saw this nice land, oh my man. Come, it's an acre. They're selling it for this amount." You
Yeah.
get excited, you raise your money, you send the money. Now that person may be right. They saw it in good faith and they thought they were buying a legal land.
Yeah.
But who knows? That land may have been sold 3 or 4 times. And you send your money, they probate the deed.
Hmm.
But now we were talking about this off camera. So
Yeah.
how many deeds now for this one land? And where's the record keeping that will determine that? Hold on here. This land was sold the other day, or this land was sold to this party. This land,
Hmm.
because it's the same land. Because when they do the Ministry of Lands might send a surveyor,
Hmm.
they are diagramming the land in the same proximity of the other lands where they
Right.
are adjoining parties, their cornerstones. So how many cornerstones will represent this one land? And then the very people continue to probate the deed. And now you have 4 or 5 people, Moses.
Yeah. And like you said, that's why when properties are being surveyed, or when these are issued, these are what numbers, right? Registration numbers.
Yeah, lot number
So,
this,
mhm.
adjoining party this, party that. That's why when I was on the radio, if you record, and we're
Yeah.
doing announcement, public service announcement, we'll ask
Mhm.
for those to come to verify the lands and come with the deeds, and we'll
Right.
name the adjoining parties. Now the failure to show up, if the survey goes on, then at least we've done justice, to the
Yeah.
process, due diligence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that is where the role of the probate court comes in. The probate court has the responsibility of probating land deeds, right? So, just recently, a lawmaker of Margibi County complained about how corrupt the probate court of Liberia is. The argument here is that the probate court is accused of probating land a parcel of land that has been sold to more than 4 or 5 persons. If that is happening, then it means that the people at the probate court are not doing research. Because if I Moses Sandy present a deed, a document to a land claiming that hey, this property is mine, they should be able to verify in order to avoid conflict. But if the same land that Moses Sandy probated and Volcano Shelton counts and probate the same parcel of land, then tomorrow my friend and brother Jackson Seaton comes and probate the same parcel of land. The next day it is Mr. Gadier who's in our colleague come and present the same document wanting to probate, the same parcel of land. He wants document, he wants a deed to be probated for the same parcel of land, and the court is going ahead doing this on a repeated basis, then we don't have a system. It means that the court is corrupt, extremely corrupt.
Or the court does not have the mechanisms in place, the systems in place, the data in place to really detect these kinds of stuff. But yeah, what it is, I bought
Mhm,
land in Margibi County, and the capital city of Margibi County is Kakata.
mhm.
So it means I have to drive all the way to Kakata to go and probate my deed. The first thing I do is I probate the deed in the township of Shuffling.
Okay.
You know, actually, don't probate the deed. You go first to Kakata,
Hmm.
they probate the deed, they take the deed, and they register the information in a ledger.
Right.
We're still back in the day. There's nothing computerized. So they register that in a ledger, and then the judge comes and sign your deed. Then you
Hmm.
pick your deed up. Now it's at your volition to decide if you want to. All right,
Hmm.
take your deed and register it with the local community.
Authority.
Like for instance, the Shuffling Township where your land is located. So
Hmm.
I go to the Shuffling Township, and I go there, and the guy in the room by himself, he take a copy book that he could put in his backpack and carry home and lose the copybook. And he writes the information in there. And he gave me a piece of paper and called a receipt and takes my money.
Yeah.
Good in good faith now, I'm thinking that my document is
It
stored
is
in there,
stored. Hmm.
but it's in a piece of copybook. All right.
Yeah.
Then I call later on and they tell me that the land is the information is now sent to the archive. So
Right.
the National Archive Center in Syncor takes that information and accordingly they have a database that they enter it into. But they
Yeah.
still keep all of the ledgers. When the ledgers get full, they send that ledger to Morovia from the county seat. And
Hmm.
then that ledger gets kept in the archive center. But
Right.
then fast forward, then apparently Governor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf decided to, okay, create the Liberia Land Authority
Hmm.
because there were so many things happening. When I was growing up, I knew that the Archive Center was the only place you could get all your documents. But
Right.
this time now, it's the Liberia Land Authority. So the Land Authority was operating in the back of the Archive Center
Hmm.
while they were preparing the new space. Now they moved to Mamban Point.
Right.
So I go to Mamban Point to be able to track a deed.
Hmm.
And they tell me that the information is still at the archive center because the archive center wants some of the payment that you make. Because the archive center feel that that money should not go to the land authority alone.
They
So
will
this
land
is
still.
where the glitch is now. So the documents are almost in two places, but one party is trying to get a document. And so I was in Liberia for more than a month and I couldn't get that document restored. I had to leave the country. I left and there I have my receipt. I paid the money at the archive center with the land authority.
Hmm.
And now the land authority cannot give me the document because the archive center is holding on the document because they wanted a share of the money. And this is what happening, Moses.
Yeah. And it is so sad that at this time our system is so archaic. Can you imagine you going to register a very important document and someone will grab a ledger to document that? This thing is supposed to be what electronics. That when you go to the court, all they need from you is your maybe registration number, and to put that into the system, it just pull everything right before whatever that wants to review. Now, because this is not happening, you have ledgers all over the place, ledgers that cannot even be accounted for. It wow, complicates the whole process. The Moses Sandy will come and register, a probate of particular land, and Volcano Shelton, you come the next day, you probate the same land. So what happened? Now we have conflict. We are in fights. This has led to what? Several deaths, several properties taken what? Illegally by criminals. So when do we get justice? When do we? Just before the land authority came into existence, we have what we call, what used to then be known as the land commission. They executed what? Similar responsibility. Similar things they did. Today you have the land authority that also has a responsibility of what? Registering deeds, helping individuals who are seeking justice, in seeking seeking justice regarding their properties. That's one of the fundamental responsibility of the land authority, to help people get justice. But how effective is the land authority? Go to the website. Go
Hmm.
to the website. There's no information. The institution is inactive. So you have all these dormant institutions that are on government payroll and basically doing nothing. But people are being paid monthly.
So there's a guy here, Weirdo. He writes here, he said, land dispute is a major problem in Liberia. I'm a
Mhm,
living witness to
mhm,
many, so many land disputes in Liberia. I was a clerk of the Liberian judiciary and
mhm.
was assigned at the Bourgeois Island Magisterial Court and
Yeah.
served under several magistrates. I witnessed where one person would sell a lot or two plots of land to more than one person's. And trust me, party A will sue party B, and then while party A has sued party B, party C will come and issue a writ of criminal trespass against party A for the same land. So it's just like you digging hole, covering hole.
Yeah.
And people threatening the lives of others for land disputes, which is a serious issue that really needs to be discussed. It
Mhm,
still continues up to date as to land disputes, and sometimes to those big guys who have money overpower the ordinary man who don't have money to fight that particular land case involving the big guys
mhm,
against the ordinary man who don't have money to fight the case. So then, it becomes, if you don't have the money, and sometimes it gets to the point, Moses, where they say, "My man, just forget our land business because you won't die." The poor wish you, the poor
Oh
throw
yeah.
go out on you, the poor do something to you, and when you think about it, you know, you just
They
let your money go.
intimidate you. They literally intimidate you.
Yeah, just let your
Tell
money
you
go.
everything that, oh well, you got to let it go. But how am I going to let this go? Is this how we're going to govern our country? This problem we're talking about has even claimed the attention of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Francis Coppoc. Few years ago, he raised concern about this problem. He urged judges in the country to ensure that individuals engaged in a land dispute, every party should be given the opportunity to have what? Equal justice. There should be a due process. I'm not a lawyer, but I think basically what the Chief Justice is saying that, hey, if Moses Seni is claiming ownership to a land, Volcano Shelton is also claiming ownership to that land, let the process be free and fair, and let the law take its course. I think that's what we need. Let me take you to our own University of Liberia, the Fendek campus. During the Salif administration, there was a demolition exercise. Um, because of the Civil War, a lot of people encroached on the Fendek campus of the University of Liberia. So during the Salif administration, there was a demolition exercise that affected over 50,000, people. So what happened? The former residents, they decided to take the case to the ECOWAS court. They filed a lawsuit against the university in Liberia in the amount of $16 million. What did President Weah do? His administration, when Mr. Weah came to the presidency, his administration intervened and they settled, they agreed to give these people what? $8 million. So it just tells you why it is important that the government do everything it can to ensure that this problem is contained. It is
And,
a problem.
and
Yeah, where?
no, finish up. I tell you
No,
the,
what I was
the
saying
part.
is that there's a need for this problem to be contained because volcano, this could be another situation that could lead to another civil war in our country.
And so right now, if you look at it, I know Moses, you haven't been back to Liberia since you left, and I go all the time. And quite frankly, right now you can't find land in Congo Town, in Pinsville. I'm saying Pinsville, and I mean Pinsville.
I
I'm
mean,
not playing.
yeah.
If you find land in Pinsville, it means that the original owner decided to sell it to you, who bought it and who owns it. And you really got to dig, dig deep before you buy it.
So then, how do I determine he's the original owner?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to dig deep. You got to dig deep.
Yeah.
But lands now are being sold on the outskirt. Now, between me and you,
Mhm.
all the land on the highway from Duazon all the way to Rawafi, all the front
Oh,
property, all gone.
everything sold. Yeah.
Everything gone. Marshall Road, all gone.
Yeah.
So for you to own land now, you gotta go deep in and then the swamp area and stuff.
Hmm.
So people moving as far as Owens Grove and those places because quite frankly,
Hmm.
everywhere is being sold. Then you go across the bridge on the other side, the
Yeah.
very Johnsonville. You saw that crowd over there. Johnsonville was a bush when you
Yeah.
and I were over there the other
Oh, oh,
day.
yeah, that place was for Bushman
Complete bush. But there are
when we
cities
used to go
now.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
There's cities. I'm telling you, they now take the rightful places as cities.
Hmm.
So where you gonna find land? And that's what we're talking about here tonight. The conflict is not gonna be resolved if we don't put the kinds of system in place, have the
Absolutely.
right kinds of law to protect
Hmm.
everyone, especially, you know, when people purchase the property, they have hope to do. Now, hear what it is, Moses.
Yeah.
When you buy a piece of land, 2009, I bought my first two lots.
Hmm.
When I bought the land, I didn't even go to Liberia to buy land. It was my first time going after the years I've stayed out of the country. So when I got there, the guy sold the land to me. He said, "My man, you my man, oh, but I will tell you the truth. You should pregnant this ground." So I said, "But what do you mean pregnant the ground?"
The
The
ground,
man
my
said,
man.
"Oh, you come from America, you come here without American. Do you know what they call pregnant ground?" I said, "No, you mean I should get you something so you can mount the land?" He said, "No, no, no. You got to put the foundation down." You
See,
so my man, I didn't even have the time to put foundation down. In two
foundation,
weeks, in 2 weeks, I was compelled to put a foundation down.
because the guy was indirectly telling you that, hey, this land I sold to you,
I can resell it,
I can resell it to another person anytime.
And then the funny thing, after I put a foundation down, I leave, he said, "Don't go stay 10 years. Oh. Somebody will finish the house for you." The man told me, he said, "Don't stay 10 years. Somebody gonna finish the house for you. So you gotta come quick, quick, quick." My man, see me now. Then your whole life changed.
Of
The other
course.
things you want to do, you can't do it now. You
Yeah,
all stuck with that project.
yeah, that
you
project got
know.
affected.
And the sad thing about it, we're doing these things, but we're not living in the country.
We're not
So that
living
only other
there.
people enjoying what we're sweating here for every day, and we're
Hmm.
putting over there. With the hope that one day we'll go back. But
Yeah,
that's the kind of pressure owning land, owning property can be in Liberia. And when you're not there, as soon as you leave, they say, "Well, I mean, coming back just now." They
yeah,
take
and
advantage of the situation, Moses.
the
So
thing-
that's a serious problem we're faced with as a country.
it is they sell your property to the highest bidder, and when the highest bidder leaves, another highest bidder comes. They sell it to the other higher bidder, and the problem continues on the bidder. So, what we need in the country is what punitive laws. We need to hold people accountable. Our criminal justice system needs a reform, a significant reform. Our judges, and I don't mean to be condescending yet or make unsubstantiated claims against our judges or people in the criminal justice system. But you will agree with me that our criminal justice system is extremely corrupt. Our,
Absolutely.
yeah, our lawyers are corrupt. Our judges are corrupt. The police officers are also what? Corrupt. So then, where do you get justice from? Where's the rule of law? If someone went and took a parcel of land belonging to Mr. Shelton and sold it to Moses Sandy goes to court. Mr. Shelton sends thousands of dollars to people in Monrovia to fight Moses Sandy who doesn't have money. What happens? Mr. Shelton wins the case. So those who have the money, who have the political connections, can easily navigate the system as compared to the poor. We need tougher actions. That's the only way you can resolve this problem. People need to be held accountable for their actions.
So listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Olu Ashia Kowu Howard is saying that
Mm-hmm.
Liberians in the diaspora should start buying land, not develop the land. She said the whole Ravensfield Highway
Yes.
is purchased by Liberians abroad and is not developed. Why? That's not true, Bolu. You go to Liberia, you see some of the houses on the Ravensfield Highway. Who you think building those houses? You know, but because I buy land, so it means I should build a house right away when I'm away here and I'm not living in the country. So I can buy land and make and be sure that my land is there. I have to develop it right away. No, that wouldn't be
That,
the right
yeah,
thing. You know,
yeah, that won't
because
be a
at the end of
legal
the day,
basis. Yeah,
people
that would be a legal
you right
basis.
here, Bolu, you know the hustle. People gotta hustle, buy the land first, then hustle again, put a foundation down, then hustle again, get it up, then hustle, and then so all that process can take some time. Not everybody here have access to big money.
No.
Not everybody here got insurance settlement. Not everybody here got winning lottery money. The people in Liberia got access to quick money than you and myself here. You
Of
talking
course.
government officials? When you take $16 billion and distribute among yourself $25 million, and every day people building big houses because they're getting free money. Free
Of
money
course.
at the expense of the people. That's
Mhm.
why.
Yeah, you see. So, if I can just take you back to what happened in Johnsonville, this land dispute that gave rise to this discussion.
Just before you go to it, I was going to
Yeah.
come to it. I just
Oh, okay.
wanted to
Okay.
go to
Yeah.
the
Go
mission.
ahead. Yeah.
So
Sure.
going to the intermission. So,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live. We're here on Bridge Radio Africa, the co-host hosting tonight. I'm Volcano Shelton. I have with me in studios Mr. Moses Sandy. Mr. Moses Sandy is a career social worker and a journalist. He's the former president emeritus of the All Liberian Journalists. Again, the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas. I always put that all to it because it's like
I
one of
know.
we're
When you see the A's,
every
yeah,
one of us are comrades, my brother.
I
Um,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Eh,
we want
eh,
to say thank you for coming on. We want to recognize some of our good viewers here tonight. Momo Vikings, Justina Harris Bestman, We Adore, Florence Stiller, Bolu Ashia, Kowu Howard, um, my man, Abu Babeto Fofana. Bebeto Fofana is in the house. Emmanuel Jackson is in the house. Ibrahim Ma, Sam Kwade, and Sakar Dean. Share the video, grab popcorn, grab something to drink. We're talking about land dispute. I'm sure some of you here tonight are faced with the same problems, and we'll be opening the lines very shortly. But in the meantime, Moses is going to come in now with the story that build the premise for this discussion tonight regarding the land dispute in Johnsonville, where two families claim ownership to the land,
mhm.
and apparently they had bought the land long time ago. Meaning, a guy here in the U.S. bought the land, established a school, and then lately These other people came and said the land belonged to their family. And in the process of settlement, there's a dispute now with family members taking the money, and or another person don't get the money. So
Mhm.
in a state of darkness, he takes front end loader and police officers, and they go to this school and they demolish the people property.
Mhm.
And the students woke up in the morning, that Saturday morning. It was on a Saturday morning. Most of the high school, the 12th graders rather, were going to the Saturday study class, all dressed in the uniform, got there in the campus in a demolition state. Moses, what you know about this story?
Yeah, you already narrated the story. When I saw that video, when I woke up, on this thing here, you know, sometimes the way our people do things, it can just be too mean. It is my understanding that the land in question here is a 25 acre of land, and a family claiming ownership to this property went to court, accused people of encroaching on the property. So they went to court, they filed a lawsuit, and they won the court. I mean, they won the case in court. So on the same property, the only high school I am told in the Johnsonville area was also situated on this property. So the owners of the school negotiated with the family.
And
They
this
said,
is a new group
yeah,
after
yeah,
buying it from the previous group. This
yeah.
new group.
So they said, oh, well, look, we are occupying 9 acre of land of this property. Can you please work with us? We don't want to move. So the family agree. The representatives of the administrators of the property agree. And they asked the school to pay $25,000. The school administration consented because they already have their establishment there. It is also my understanding that they paid $22,000 towards that. After the $22,000 payment, another disgruntled group of the family that claiming ownership, and they decided that well they did not benefit from the initial payment. So under the call of darkness, it is also my understanding that this happened between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. They took a demolition equipment and demolished the school. That was heartbreaking, Volcano. I saw that. I was hurt. I was very, very disturbed that people would treat other people like that. And I'm not saying this to justify, why people should encroach on other people's property. But I'm just saying that if someone went into an arrangement, a legal arrangement with you, and you took or your family took a portion of the money, then what is the legal basis of going to demolish the school? And so let me use this opportunity to say or hats off to Monserrato County Senator Sir Joseph. Honorable Joseph gave the school administration, he made a donation of $5,000. Just the other day, I saw a video which showed that the school administration is currently undertaking some kind of makeshift structure just for the kids to go back to school. I don't think these people were treated fairly. What's your thought?
Well, I mean, it depended on, what was the arrangement. And, you know, I think the guy who took the group there to do this, if
Mhm.
indeed,
Mhm.
um, because accordingly they had document from one of the courts that gave them the go ahead from what I saw
Testimony.
in the video.
Yes.
So we don't know the legitimacy behind the document. But if there's a degree of legitimacy and that it says that, now my concern is, did the school, did the document warranted the school to have a specific time? Because when you ask for someone to evacuate, you have to give them a time frame. So it was that part of the agreement during the settlement, and did it fulfill that part? So there's a lot of other questions can be asked around the
Yeah.
incident.
A lot of questions can be asked, but
But just to share,
yeah, they
uh,
took $22,000 from the school and still demolished the property. That's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. And irrespective of the other party who didn't get some of that money,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was extreme. That was absolutely extreme,
Yeah.
and it's difficult when we already have a crisis situation where learning by itself is strenuous. It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult, and to just go and take away the classroom for those kids. But ladies and gentlemen, we're opening the lines now. If you want to call in, chime in, and opinion, we're open here 404. 2722808 is the number. Someone asked me, where's my brother? My favorite brother, that's Ashford. I know you're asking about Ashford. Don't you worry, Ashford will be here. He's behind the scene. Ashford is handling some business. He will be back soon. Okay, folks? Um, be happy. You're still in good hands. I mean, we ourselves want Ashford to be back, and but he's handling some very important things, and he will
Yeah.
be back soon.
In the
I
interest
guarantee that.
of
All right.
yeah.
So just hang tight. So if you just joining us, pick up the phone, call 404-272-2808, and let's discuss this topic. We want to say thank you to Top FM in Grand Jita County, 105.3. That's in Zwedru. Joy FM 101.5 and Live FM 104.1. Our broadcast comes on at 8 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 1 a.m. GMT, and that's mainly in Liberia. Somebody said the Liberian Man time, 1 a.m. So we say thank you for being with us tonight, all you wonderful people. I see Stephen Chayo, Ford Morrison, and you wonderful people coming tonight with us. Share the video, share the link. I have a caller from a 3389 number. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Brother Shelton, this is Emmanuel Jackson from
Oh,
Boston.
yeah, Emmanuel. Welcome to the program. How you doing tonight?
Not bad, good,
Good,
and
good.
happy to see Brother Sandy on. He always enlightens me. When I see him, sometimes I have other things to do, but I just stay and to watch the show.
All right,
Again,
thank you.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
appreciate the
yeah.
public
Well,
recognition.
I think all of us have studied economics, and there are three major factors of an economy: land, labor, and capital. Now, if you have or all three of those factors not functioning correctly, you have dispute in the country. Currently, the economy in Liberia is not growing labor, it's not growing capital wise. So, what would be the next one that people will encroach on for their livelihood would be land. And land dispute can lead to civil unrest, like Brother Moses said. So, this is a very serious problem. If Liberia economy don't start to improve, laborly creating jobs, employment in the economy, and also creating capital. Because even right now, the people in the informal sector, they're not even having access to capital. Our country would be in serious trouble because even my wife now, she has a problem with land dispute right in that Johnsonville area. Her father has a place there called Sastown right behind Samuka Town in Caldwell, going up to Johnsonville, that area. There's a lot of land dispute. Her sister just called, a gentleman just walk up to their property and say, this land is mine, you know. And that's what's going on, especially in our Caldwell, going up to White Plain, all those areas that were, probably abandoned for years. So the main thing that is affecting this land dispute is that our economy is not growing at all. The economy is not producing jobs. Now we have, and even the people in the informal sector that will do their market and have the money, they're not even having access to money. So the next dispute will be the land. All throughout the country, it's not just in Montserrat now, even up in Cape Town, the area I'm from, they having land dispute issue there with people encroaching in
And I would
illegal
believe that,
mining.
Emmanuel, because the river over there, the Lake Piso, that's very scenic, beautiful area.
That's
You
not,
know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. In my family now, there's a land dispute there during the tiller year. A guy just went up there because he had money and encroached on my family land. So we have
Oh wow, Emmanuel.
is growing.
Thank you,
with
Emmanuel. We have another
yeah,
caller.
yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Caller from a 3599 number. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Okay, my name is J. Cassius Manzo Jr. And I have a little questions that I want to pose to Mr. Senate. That have to be okay. Usually, I know that for the school that this guy broke down, and people claims he bought a land, and the owners of the land came and said that they had a land, and other people came and claimed that they had a land. So this is a project that took probably a year to be constructed on the land. So where they that they see the projects going on, that they could file a case with the court immediately, that they could stop the project. So my questions to Mr. Senate is that if I see the project ongoing on my land, because I have land in Liberia on the Ralphie Highway, is my caretaker in there saw somebody else taking the project on land, what can I do to stop that project? That's my question.
A very salient question. If you notice any illegal construction work, or you see any form of encroachment on your property, you take immediate action. First, if you see people on the ground, you get the police involved, you go to court, you file a lawsuit, and seek redress. You don't want to wait until the person completes, with the construction of his or her of a house. Then you come, you say, "Oh, well, this is my land." Except maybe you're ill or you're not aware of what is happening on your property. But I think the most advisable thing to do is that when you notice something that is unusual on your property, you let the law intervene immediately.
And that means you have to jump on the plane. Yeah, if
Yes,
you have to fly, if you have
yeah,
to fly, put some money in your pocket because you know you're going to go bribe everybody just
yeah,
so they can put a halt on the current project. And that
yeah.
way, then you guys can go to court.
Hmm.
Because usually when you file the lawsuit, then they'll serve a rate to
Or
put a
prohibition.
halt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on that. But again, Moses, like I said, this situation is not common to Liberia. It's happening all in the sub-region.
Hmm.
Again, as I said, I was speaking with someone from Sierra Leone, and they're already messing with the person's land.
Wow.
They're already messing with the person's land. So that's just everywhere. 9180, are you there? 9180. Okay, that person just hang up. I don't know. Yeah. So the problem is even next door. You buy your land, and and one of the things that continue to pop up, they always know that the people from the diaspora will leave,
We leave. Yeah,
and you'll come back, but then when they do the damage, by the time you get back now, you're weak, you
yeah.
know.
And sometimes the people who even do these things to you are your own relatives.
That's why I was about to go. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you live abroad, you have a parcel of land. You may have a brother in the family or sister in the family who is very dishonest, that will go and talk to another person and say, "Hey, look, I have a parcel of land," because your brother or sister knows that you're not going to Liberia soon. Sell that property to another person.
All
You know,
right, let me go to the line, Moses. From a 7611 number, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, sir? This is your boy Dwalin.
Dwalu, what's up, my man? How's the
What's
New
going on?
England area?
We thank God we had a lot of wind here yesterday, but fortunately, we
Okay.
still got. I just called to put my 2 cents into this thing. This is just happening overnight. It's been going on for a very long time.
Mhm.
But majority of the reason why it's happening is because of the government lack of the responsibility to do their job. Why would the government issue these for one land more than one time? Whose are the archives? How are they curtailing this? Now, I wasn't here in the beginning. I don't know where the brother covered this, but it's very easy to demarcate this place. Other countries, look, you can develop a basic database that other countries are doing. If it's an X wants to buy land one in certain area, he goes there, he has a code, detect the code, it comes to who owns that land. The government is not willing to do their job. These things will continue to happen. It's literally happening to everybody. Even myself here, in many instances, I had to go into dispute with a representative. If I didn't have some money behind me, he was going to take my property. And some people, they just take their property because there's nothing they can do about it. This leads to tremendous chaos. But the government is not willing to act. All they do is they will wait until somebody build a massive project and they come and break it down. How are they going to continue doing it? When the court sits there, allows the land commission to issue these deeds to anybody who wants to buy land. When you're issuing a deed, aren't there some tracking mechanism that are employed to make sure it is not redundant in the system? But nobody cares. So there's deed floating everywhere. You can go on education and make your own deed.
Yeah.
Nothing is being. I mean, it's
They
just
got a place
crazy.
called the World Trade Center.
I mean, it is crazy, and the thing is leading to chaos. People have died. I don't know if you guys remember, I believe it was Senator Barney or Senator way back, I think it was in 2008 or 2007, on the land issue. So many kids got murdered
in
because
Margibi County.
when fighting over land.
That was in Margibi, a rolling cane.
In Margibi County, yes, exactly. So we
People
face a lot of issues, and most of the issue is due to the government because the government don't want to do its job. At the end of the day, they can address this issue very quickly and make sure they create a database. If you want to buy land, you don't go to the person who owns the land. You go to the archive. They can tell you exactly who owns the land, and then you're talking to the right person. That can be curtailed. But who's going to develop it? Government is not willing to invest in something that creates security. I think it's a big failure, not on just this administration, but the ones before it. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Dualo. Thank you for contributing. The caller from a 6476 number, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Welcome to Bridge Radio, Ashford, Garley Live.
All right. Thank you so much. This is Aisha. I was calling. How you doing today? So I was calling to talk about this land issue. I wrote a couple of comments underneath there. I think for me, because I'm in Liberia all the time, and I see one of the issues that we are having, like you're talking about the breaking people houses and stuff in Liberia. Most people are in the United States, will stay here for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and when they go back, their land is already being sold. Like you have some of those surveyors that are even selling the land because they know the person will not even come back again. So if you go back after 20 years and you say, the land is your land. What the government will do is, or what they will do, they will call everybody in that area to do a resurvey of that land and tell everybody to bring the original deed, and the person that has the oldest deed owns the land. That's what they do over there. So you that have the oldest deed, you own the land. So what you can do is either negotiate with the people on the land, or you either break their property down. Because before you break anybody's property, you have to go to court, you have to do all of that. But most times, it's like, the court will tell you, they will tell the person, they come to a deal here. Either you pay, but most people in Liberia will say, no, I'm not going to pay. So as a result, other people just carry the greater there and break their property down because they also want to fight. So my advice is, if you buy a land in Liberia, don't keep your land for 10 years or 15 years. Put a horse on the land or put somebody on the land to take care of the land for you instead of just allowing the land to sit there for all that years because you say you don't have money and stuff. And this is a serious thing in Liberia. Anybody can sell your land. If you don't go back after 10 years, 5 years, they will sell your land. And when you go back and you carry a deed, then you have to go through the whole process of resurveying that land, calling everybody in the neighborhood to resurvey. You have to go through the court and all of that. So this is very serious. So my advice to the people here or people abroad, if you buy your land, try to put something on it, even a foundation or a fence, the way they do in Ghana and Nigeria and stuff. Do it in Liberia too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Excellent
Thank you,
suggestion.
I got one more caller in queue. Let me see if this caller is still there from a 3599 number. Are you still there, caller?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm conscious master of the game. I just have another question again I want to pose to Mr. Sting. Mr. Sting, like I said before that I did purchase a land on Robert E. Howard.
Yeah.
What is the best way to protect my land and start a project on the land? Can you please give me the advice what I should do to protect the land?
And you said you purchased a land on the Robert E. Howard, right? and it
All right,
concerns you
Moses.
have. Yeah,
Moses,
yeah.
let me just bring the last caller, and then you'll
Sure.
come to his answer question.
Hmm.
Caller, are you there from 8879 number?
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Yeah, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Sam Caller. I'm calling from Providence, Rhode Island.
All right, come in, caller. The line is hot
Yeah,
tonight,
I
bro.
just have a little.
Go ahead, caller.
Liberia is kind of a little awkward. All right. I used to live in Cote d'Ivoire, right? So this is what you do. If you buy the land and you don't build on it, and someone else is built on that land, it automatically goes to that person. When you come, the government will relocate you. So what our sister just said that, we in America will buy land for 20 years and the land is just sitting there, nobody using it. The person that has money to build to that land, you go ahead and build on the land. And when you come, the people relocate you. You can keep a land for 200 to 30 years in America and why people wants to build there,
So if you buy a
I
lane,
mean, everybody too.
so if you buy a lane or somebody build it, then the government take you and take you to Nima County near the border, you will like it?
I mean, I'm just giving an example.
No,
I'm just giving an
but
example, man.
equally so, what is common in Ivory Coast cannot be common in Liberia.
No, but
So,
when you, yeah, go
my
ahead.
brother, you telling me that, let's say, what our sister just said, you have a land. I'm in America. I got a land for 20 years, man. I haven't built a house on that land. And it just sits here on that plot. And someone else want to build.
Development, yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you, guys.
Okay, thank you. Let
Thanks.
me go to the line
Yeah.
quick. This other caller is in queue. 4322, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, welcome. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Thank you. My name is Nathan Popa. I'm calling from North Dakota.
Welcome. You following the topic. What's your contribution?
Yeah, I mean, usually I usually follow your show like listening, but today's topic is very more interesting, and I just want to say something to. I think that was the caller before the two callers that just got off the phone. I mean, I heard him complaining about government is not doing anything about taking the lanes numbers into account, putting it account where 2 or 3 persons cannot buy one place or one location. I mean, we are the cause of our own problems. All right, we are the cause of our own problems. I got property in Liberia. I have people who are still over here. I got a big brother who does all of my stuff over there, and I trust him. I think people like your co-host said, people who do those things are your own family member. All right, people who do those things are your own family member, and coming on air, trying to put the entire blame on government is necessary. For example, in Liberia, about that before you build a house somewhere, you should go to the landsman, the energy or whatever ministry, and present your plan to them, and they will send someone over for zoning purposes. But how many people in Liberia that does that? All right,
But
how many people in Liberia would?
the same government officials not doing it. They're the one breaking the laws. They're the one
No. I don't think the government needs to chase you. The government don't know if you're going to build a house. The only way the government would know, you go to them and tell them, say, hey, this is my plan. I got this piece of land and I want to put this there.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's the rule. That's what should happen. And then you even go to Ministry of Public Works. But the people who have money and power, they don't do those things. They don't follow the law.
And then, and
not only the money people, it's everybody. Okay, it's everybody. I came from Liberia just February or last year.
Last year, that 1 whole year ago, my man.
I'm only trying to tell you that the time frames I left from there is not that long. Okay. All right. And I started out construction work.
What are you advising? You got 30 seconds. You got another call.
I would advise people not to put blame on government for every little thing.
Okay.
You your very self, you need to initiate those things.
All
All
right.
right, and you will have a good family member who is doing things for you back home
Okay.
because they're
Thank
gonna
you.
be worried about taking people pictures and sending it to you and say this is your land.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
The next caller, 7817. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. The line is hot tonight. Trying to feed you guys in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hot topic.
My name is Joel Bemba, and I'm calling from New Jersey.
Yeah, you following the discussion. What's your contribution?
I think the land crisis in Liberia is I don't know whether a solution is being found because I think a lot of the things people are doing is not really working. And it goes back to the whole fact that the whole country, there's really no record system into place. The court system itself is corrupt at the first place there. So, for example, the court will be they will issue two letter administration to two different persons. Nobody's tracking that at the court. The archive that we're talking about, the archive is not trusted. I've had cases where people go and change documents at the archive, especially senior when they want to take land, they want to use their power to take full land. They can go and manipulate the archive system. So I just think it's a real complex situation that.
Caller, are you there?
Your crisis.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.
We have another caller. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm John Moses. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your contribution?
Yeah, the caller that just called that said we the one the problem. We that buy the land. We get the problem. We that supposed to go to the public ministry or whatever ministry to go to go get permit to be our horses. We the problem. No. If you can't take your husband and go to public ministry or land in mind, whatever ministry is responsible for you, you know how long it will take you? They will give you 7 working days for somebody to go do the inspection. You don't have money to pay that inspector way. You have to accommodate the inspector to come and check. If he or she go back to the ministry, it will take you almost 30 days before they can get you a result. Are you sitting and wait for 100 days? Look at the man who don't even have the money to pay that inspector way. Who don't have money to, let's say he or she want to pay 2-bedroom house, get accommodated, he or she, like let's say a Yana ball, who are going and also getting little money and say, I want to pay 2-bedroom house. Go to public ministry. Public ministry, the person responsible for that, the agency responsible for that, will come in 7 working days. You don't have money to pay that person where you wait, you got the money. The system is not built in a way you can even go to the system and get anything good. You go to the ministry, what you came here for? I came to do this. Okay, wait for me. Let me go come back. Let's talk about land. Land is a major. You better talk about car registration in Liberia. Go back to your car to transport ministry. The system is not built to make to even pay tax. You go to pay tax, but they say, give me the money to pay tax for you.
You're right. You're right. Thank you so much.
You got a very bad system over there. And
very bad, you're right.
On the citizen, is the system.
Yeah. Thank you. I have another caller in queue. This will be the last caller. We'll come back to Moses. 9846 is the number. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, come in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Mabel Watson. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Yeah, come in. You're following the discussion.
Yes, I am. I listened to a couple of people that talked before me regarding the land issue. The thing is that we fail to realize a lot of people have opportunities to travel, then that they have planned their traveling. And when they left the country, they had this land available. And when they came to America, they couldn't go back due to the crisis that were going on. If you went back, so you're surprised to let people on your land. And then when you went to the government, 'cause it happens to me. I just came from Liberia 2 months ago. I spent 2.5 months running after my land. I left behind, went to land authority. We had these meetings, and only at the end for us to go to do the resolving, as the lady said, they wanted me to pay 3 times the money I paid for the land.
Look at that.
Wanted me to pay their way. Yes, I left the case unsolved and I came. Because I went for only 3 weeks. I ended up spending 2.5 months thinking I was going to get my land back. Spend all that money, and at the end, I didn't get the land. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many other issues that are happening besides people leaving. Not that you buy your land and leaving it willingly. People travel because of the crisis. And when they had the opportunity to return back, these land were already sold and people went and intruded on your land. And when you try to run to the government that's supposed to help you, because, like me, I had an OSD. And those that sold the land to me, lucky the man passed away, but his wife and children, offspring were living and were waiting to testify. But I tried my best to have sent them in so that they could have gotten their statements and everything to award me my land. They kept carrying me up and down, ate my money. And then the next thing they told me was, in fact, they wanted me to bring surveyor. And then I brought my surveyor, and they said they had to carry police by all means. So I said, okay, since you're carrying the police, I have some other connections. Can I use my connection to go to the police station and bring police to go with us? They said it was a threat. And even if you go there, your police start acting up, if anything happens, you be responsible. I said, well, what do you people expect to happen? Because you want me to pay this money for police to go. And if I want to save myself and save you guys some money and said I can use my own influence to bring the police to be there and guide all of us, why are you guys stopping it? So it's so many things that happen there. And I left everything on some. I got a paperwork here. The letter that I wrote for complaint and everything, they went through the process and just had me going up and down. I got frustrated and left. I ended up buying new land and I just left and came. And the new land, I started my house before I even came inside, just for the same situation. So the situations are various. It doesn't mean that you don't want to develop the land, but it's because you were not there.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Very classic example of what happened all the time, Moses. And the truth here is, to be frank with you, I know some people have their own view about buying land and rushing to build and all of that. But in the same token, I don't think that that's the way to go. If a person buys the property right here in America, you see some land in places where they're not developed. They're right here in your community. They got the building may be demolished and the land is still there. Nobody's forcing you to put a building down because nobody dare touch that land. But in Liberia, the people are brave. And the system, I think the system is that rotten. So let us not put it on the people who don't build because, you buy the land, so you got to build right away. Oh, you're in America, you'll buy a land and you'll go buy a sit down in America. The lady is right. There are circumstances here in America that prevents people from being able to be in Liberia. Because then, what it is, Moses. Mm-hmm. When you go to Liberia, you own a time constraint. There's nothing. Every day matters to you. Every minute matters to you. So if you have to go to the Ministry of Public Works or Land Mines and Energy and have to wait for 1 week before the next phase of your document can be seen for the next week for the man to come, then what the need of going to Liberia? What's the need? But then when you see your money again, people eat your money, and then they send you fake pictures of other people's houses that are being built. So it's all over the place, Moses. This is a serious problem, and Liberian men just wicked. That's the truth. The Liberian men just wicked. That's just the wickedness. It has nothing to do with whether the land been there for years, but it's just that wickedness, that corrupt, ingrained wickedness. That's where the problem is coming from.
Yeah, I agree with you. And a couple of things that we can do to resolve this problem. Number one, try to make sure that the registration process is done electronically. When these are being probated and registered, that should be done electronically. So that if Moses Sandy, submits a deed with registration number, someone can sit right at his computer and determine whether that deed is fake or not. Because everything is going to be in the system. That's one of the best ways. So it means that the land authority has to be what? Very, very effective in dealing with this problem. Then number two, People who are encroaching on the property of other people and people who are selling other people's property, those people need to be held liable. We need a criminal justice system that will hold people accountable for whatever that they do. And currently, we don't have that in Liberia. We have a very corrupt criminal justice system. Police officers are corrupt, judges are corrupt, lawyers are corrupt as well. So people need to be held accountable. When you do these things here, when there's rule of law, then things will go right. People will people I mean people will be mindful in terms of what they do. But when people are not being held accountable, anybody can do anything and just walk away.
So answer the brother's question. The brother said, "What can he do to protect his land on Rouse Highway?" He just tapped something. He said he needs that answer.
And yeah,
now,
okay.
now you are land commissioner now. So answer the question.
Yeah, Mr. Mazigo, okay, quickly, let me come back to your question. A very silent question. You have your property on the Roberts Fee Highway, you have your land on the Roberts Fee Highway. A couple of things you can do, like others have suggested, if you have relatives that would keep consistent watch on that, that would be good. If you intend to develop immediately, I will encourage you to do so because you don't want to go through to, I mean, you don't want to go through any kind of a headache in the future. That would be one of the best ways. Just continue to monitor what is happening there. Whenever you see anything that raises the red flag, you take the immediate action. That's all you can do. Or lastly, I would suggest if you have the money, you want to fence your land, I think that would be another way to go too, right, Volcano?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I used to visit Ghana a few years ago,
Mhm.
that's what a lot of people do with a vacant plot. They will fence the land,
Yeah.
and hopefully put somebody in there in a warehouse. But my
Hmm.
brother, again, this is not a justification for people to take other people's property,
No,
because this has a propensity of creating another infighting, serious infighting in the country.
absolutely.
We can't continue to be a lawless society. You know what it means to take somebody's whole property. You know what I mean, Moses?
It means a lot. I mean,
It's like total disregard.
of course,
Total
the
disregard.
and the laws of Liberia, constitutional. The 1986 Constitution provides for that. Article 20, guarantees the rights of people to land, to own property legally. They have the constitutional backing, so no one should just take another person's property. And because he or she has connection in government, maybe you connected with a senator, and you think you can just take Mr. Shelton's property, and because he has nobody in government, or he doesn't have the money to fight you in court. No, the legal system should be blind, regardless of who is involved. Let everybody be treated fairly, and that's what came from the Chief Justice Francis Cocor. He wants people should be given what equal opportunity, the right to equal justice. That should happen. That's the only way you can deal with this problem, Volcano. And so let me just go off tangent a little bit. You said something that really made a lot of sense. Where we that are abroad, we send money to Africa to family members to either buy land for us or build properties for us. Like you said, some of them go and take pictures of other people's properties and send it to you. When you send the money, they divert your money to something else. There are several tales of such in the diaspora. I'm sure you have stories to share in that direction, right, Mr.
Absolutely. I know of stories. It hasn't happened to me particularly, and I
Yeah.
thank God. But
Mhm.
but I know stories. In terms of people taking a portion of my land, that
Mhm.
happened. I have the original deed. The deed talks at 1 point something acre. They sold
Yeah.
it for something acre. This very same guys, they sold it to another guy. I went to the guy, said, "You want your land?" I said, "My man, land been in, it's okay."
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I always say this, and I say this with emphatic conviction,
Yeah.
Moses. We
Mhm.
take nothing with us when we leave this earth.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing we take with us. And I'm still concerned when people in the living tend to think they can own everything, or tend to think that they can take advantage of people, and tend to think that they can just do anything and go scot-free. There is a judgment beyond this life. You understand me? And nothing you do here lasts. So you can own all the property. You can try to trample on people's rights. You can encroach on people's property. You can steal from people. You can do all these things. When you die, sometimes you don't even have a grave.
Of course.
And you carry nothing with you. So all of this is not necessary.
No one knows where he or she is going to die. So everything we do here is what? Vanity.
It's temporary.
Yeah.
Temporary and vanity. Let's go to the line again, Moses. There's a caller calling in from a caller from 6936. 6936 is the number. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Yeah, Kami, what's your name?
My name is Gabriel Menihana. I call from Virginia.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. This topic is so interesting, I'm really taken aback at some views of other Liberians here who try to make the system look like it is the ordinary people that have the problem. I think the problem we have in Liberia is the surveyors. Right now, we don't have the system set up to like digitalize land ownership and all of these things like the student guest is talking about. But the surveyors are the problem right now. If the government should come down on the surveyors, if a surveyor is found selling one person land twice, what happens to this surveyor? Right now, they are going scot-free. There is no penalty.
You revoke his license. He can no longer survey.
Yeah,
right. But nothing, no action. Every time there's land dispute, the surveyors are set free. They are not in the case. It is only the two land buyers or the two claimants of the land or three claimants of the land that are loggerhead. The surveyor is sitting cool and there's no problem with him.
Yeah.
So right now the issue is let us get down to penalizing these surveyors. If a surveyor is found selling one person land twice or thrice, let them be penalized. Let severe penalty be leveled against them so that it can be, it'll be as a precedent for other people to not practice. So for me, that's my point right now. It's not about how long somebody bought a land. It's up to me. If I want to build a mansion and the mansion cannot be built in 1 year, I have the right to take 5-6 years to prepare to build my mansion. It's not about how long I own the land. So let not the argument be about, people buy land and it's there for 2-3 years or 20 years. That's not the point. Thank you so much for allowing me.
You're right, my brother, because I'm saying it. I shouldn't have to be on hard copa seat to build my house because I buy land. I should be able to take my time to put the resources together, find the time to be able to go to the country, and do all the things. Now, if principally we have all these steps in place, as we're saying, Moses.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's no rush. There's no rush. Quite frankly, because some of the people who encroaching on people's property, they're putting zinc round down. They're not building anything good. They sell your land to somebody who try to take a little quick money to build something, not building anything good. But if you got to follow the system, like the other callers say, you go to the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy and that of the Ministry of Public Works. And you have to present your your document to come and see if the ground is structurally sound for the structure, all of that. That's a process. That is a process. So, give and take. We can't sit here tonight and justify that when a person buys the land, they have to build immediately. I don't think that's good for development. I don't think that's good for zoning. I don't think that's good for the kind of property that's supposed to be built. Like you talk about communities that will be, developed enclave, rather than, that's why you got all kinds of houses, jing jang all over the place. How about the people who building in Alice? How about the people who, encroaching on government property and coming on the main street? The people build their stores, and bring it to the road. Then when the government ready to develop the road, then they got to do eminent domain. They got to find money to pay back. So in the first place, these things shouldn't be happening if we're following the rule of law, if we're being responsible as citizens. And these things were not happening during the time you and myself were growing up. It's in a crisis era that all this stuff is happening. And then we say Liberia has returned to normalcy, Liberia has returned to peace, the civil war ended. No, the war has not ended, because there's another war, land dispute war, mental health war. There are a lot of wars in
We
Liberia.
have too many challenges in the country. Our failure to adhere to the rule of law is responsible for all the things that we're talking about. In Liberia, we need a system that will hold people accountable, and that is not happening. So I heard some of the callers talking about surveyors, not doing the work and creating all this problem. But they will continue to do these things with impunity unless we begin to hold them accountable. If
Okay,
a
that's a
surveyor
caller
causes
message.
a problem, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, caller from a 1497 1497. Are you there, caller?
Yes, yeah, my name is Martha James. Um, there is a problem with land selling in Liberia. Like a caller earlier said, the surveyors don't do their work right. When they go to survey a land, they call all the neighbors and everybody bring in their deeds. And most times, the adjacent deed, if you're the original owner, will carry the neighbors. And they will still, the land surveyor, they will still let that land go.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a way that they can find out who owns this land, and they don't resell this land. And if there was a punishment for people who are selling these lands, these things won't happen. It even happened with the government property, the free zone.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's gone. Where VOA used to be.
Oh, yeah.
All of that's gone. And all of that is
Everything
government
gone.
land.
Yeah, all of that was public land. She's right. Everything gone.
You see? You see?
Ominga
right now people
navigation.
just building.
Ominga navigation. They just went
Yes.
there.
The entire place gone.
Everybody's just building. So this is the problem.
So then,
And something has to be done. There are laws. There are laws for this place. And until they can put the laws in order, we will continue to have this problem.
I agree.
Thank you. Listen, there's a guy here tonight, called Dean. The guy says something, and it just resonates strongly with me. And Moses, you address this. He said, I'm who I am today because of land acquisition by my parents. So land ownership is important because it's left to your children, your grandchildren.
Of
Moses,
course, yeah.
So let's be practical here.
You're just going to inherit whatever you pass on to.
Yeah. So you telling me here, Moses, tonight that you must buy a land now and forcibly develop it quick because of something, because somebody gonna go to come on it and crush. So what do you leave with your children? What do your children leave with the grandchildren? Come here, Moses.
Yeah, we need a system, like the sister said, others have been saying, we need a system that will hold people accountable. And that's one of our greatest problems in Liberia. The system does not hold, the corrupt accountable. When I say corrupt, I'm not talking about people who are taking, money from public coffers anyone who engages in an act that is considered dishonest. The person is corrupt. That's malfeasance. So this is where I'm coming from. We need to hold people accountable. If surveyors are causing the problem, if family members are causing the problem, if individuals in the community are encroaching on government property with impunity, those people need to be held liable. That's all. What makes the United States great for Canada is because of what? The rule of law, right?
Yeah.
No one is going to come here and encroach on your property like that because he or she knows that there's a system that will hold him or her accountable, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we need in Liberia, a system that will hold people accountable. You don't want someone going to court and then you have a cabinet minister taking the phone to call the judge and say, oh, well, the gentleman is my interest. We don't need that kind of system. And these are things that happen in Liberia on a consistent basis. We just need a system that will work for almost everybody. That's what we need.
And you're right, Moses.
Mhm.
The problem with our country is, and we always mixed with our. I'll put it this way: the Liberian men like to call wrong right,
Oh yeah.
and I have a serious problem with it. And in as much as British Radio Africa is here to enlighten our people, give
Yeah.
us something to think about, and let's look at the wrongs and try to correct it. People will justify
Oh yeah, they'll
what
do
is wrong.
everything to justify it. Yeah.
What
In fact, someone will
how do we
argue.
improve?
Yeah, someone will argue that, oh well, you're saying that this is wrong today. Why is it that when it happened in the past, no one said anything about it? But that does not mean that two rights, I mean, two wrongs are equal to one right. No. When something happened in the past and no one spoke about it, and it is happening today, and people decide to talk about it, it doesn't mean that what happened in the past was right. No, it's just that maybe they did not speak on the issue at the time. So we all need to recognize this thing and begin to speak about them, and let the system begin to work for everybody. That's not happening.
So Moses, let's look at where we go with this tonight as we
Mhm.
almost approach the end of this program.
Yeah.
Um, why it is true that we talked about this, we
Mhm.
looked at some of the institutions and their inability,
Yeah.
to really put
Effectively,
the
yeah.
systems to use.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, many of the things we have as systems in Liberia were borrowed from this country.
Of course.
And it's utilizable. It's
Mhm.
just that our lack of desire. That's the issue in Liberia. Our lack of desire to implement. We have some great rules and regulations and policies and procedures and laws because, again, as I said, we borrowed from here.
Mhm.
But because we cannot implement and we fail to implement, that's why we're where we are.
Our
This
system.
country does implementation.
Mhm.
This country does not wait for you to make it look bad. As soon as you do it wrong, they
They'll wait.
chastise you.
Mhm.
So how do we go forward, Moses?
Well, like I said earlier, all we need is a system that will ensure that there's justice for everybody, that everybody is treated fairly, and we need to prioritize. Our right now, what is happening with us, and it's not unique to we administration. One of our greatest problems in Liberia is that our priorities are mixed. What sense does it make to pay a senator $15,000 when you cannot afford to even maintain public or public bathrooms? You cannot maintain bathrooms in public institutions, and you pay one person $15,000. What sense does it make to pay a judge $200, and you expect this judge to enforce the laws of the country? You pay a police officer $150, and while you paying senators $15,000, you pay ministers, deputy minister 10,000, of 5,000, 7,000, and the people who are doing what the foot work, they are giving chicken change. So we just need to figure out what we need to do to make our system work. Our teachers are not being paid regularly. In fact, even if they are paid, some teachers, what a senator makes, maybe that's 10 years salary for some of our teachers. So what sense does that make? You don't provide for your schools. You don't provide for the courts. How do you expect the court system to be effective? All this thing we're talking about, the land authority. How is the land authority going to be viable when the land authority is underfunded? Visit the website. There's nothing, no information. You go to the land authority website, no information there. It means that the organization is what? Dormant. We need to pump money to where our interest lies. We need to. it is important for our public officials to begin to prioritize spending what $1 million on the nationwide tour. Come on, man, that's a
Was
lot.
was it $9 million?
No, $1 million, approximately $1 million, according to news report.
Oh, somebody
That's
said
what
nine
the we
million to me.
administration. That's what the we administration, spend, for the nationwide tour. So if
And
you
uh,
spend that kind
and
of
I was
money,
I was listening to our brother the other day, and he talked about Beku Junior
yeah,
using $200,000 of the
yeah,
NPA money
hmm
and carried 30 people who were probably not
yeah,
employees,
hmm
most of them females. So what are we doing?
yeah. Where are the priorities?
What are we doing, my brother?
Where
What
are
are
the
we doing?
priorities? Where
You
are the
know,
priorities?
and when you
Yeah,
talk about these things, people think that you hit this person or you hit that person. I
yeah,
continue to say this is all about the issues, and they're existential issues. These issues are there, and we know it and we see it, but we can't continue. Listen, the other thing I'm hearing about and Friday
mm,
we got to talk about it.
yeah,
The process of the coronavirus testing in Liberia. So
yeah.
Friday you'll
hmm
come back here with me.
Sure.
Uh, we'll do some research
hmm
and we'll talk about it. It is a corrupt system, absolutely corrupt system.
I listen
You
to.
understand me? So,
Yeah,
and I don't know when they're gonna stop it because the way I see it now, I look at it as another cash flow,
yeah.
for the economy, you know.
I
But
have it. I
I
have
have
it.
no problem with this cash flow, Moses, only if they do it right and not
Mm-hmm.
inconvenient people and make it systematic enough that people are not put through
Mm-hmm.
hell, and
Yeah.
that's what happening.
I had the opportunity of watching the Minister of Health and the lady who currently has Enfield. There's the institutions are responsible for infectious diseases
You're
in
talking about Jane
the
Macaulay.
yeah. And the Minister of Health said that the money they collect for administering coronavirus tests to individuals traveling in and out of the country, that money is used to underwrite the cost of other expenses that the ministry
But you know
these.
what? Let us not let it carry the bag. Hang on to that. Friday will come with it. We're out of time
Yeah.
now, Moses. It was great having you here tonight. Your final word.
Oh, well, I want to say thanks to the many callers. The participation was good. We come here to talk about these topical issues because we care a lot about our country. So let's continue to talk. This is not to put a particular administration down or put an individual down, but we are just calling a spade in the interest of Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you. To all
Thank
of you, our viewers, we say thank you for being with us tonight. Great discussion, I believe. Land dispute, land rights. Is a very very important topic, and this is not going anywhere if we don't put the kinds of systems in place that will rescue everyone. Because I bought a land today doesn't mean I'm forced to put a house on it. There's a process for me to put a house on the land. I have to seek the rightful paperwork, get the right kind of construction, company or engineers who will come and do the work. All of that takes time. The money raised to do it. Everyone is not rich, but people can say because you buy the land, if you keep the land for 5 years, then somebody has the right to encroach on your land. The main thing here is that the situation in Liberia is not in President Weah's era. Is that we're saying that, oh, this government. No, the issue here when we say sometimes it falls on President Weah is because President Weah is the president now, and he's seen some of these things prior to not being president, and he promised that he was going to change these things. And so all we can do at Bridge Radio Africa is to throw light on some of these things. So hopefully the president can call his team and say, listen, guys, are these things really happening? Because that's what a good leader would do. Are these things really happening? Are these things happening? We need to address it, because this can't happen on my watch. That's what a good president would do. And so that's what we talk about these things. So we want to remind you that Bridge Radio Africa is a media broadcast platform presenting human interest, stories, news, education, and entertainment. Our content promote democracy, good governance, human rights, and development in Liberia and the diaspora. We broadcast to enlighten, but importantly speak out against the ills in society emanating mainly in African countries. And like the issue of land, rights and land dispute, we say it happens in Sierra Leone, it happens in Ghana, it happens in Guinea, it happens everywhere in Africa, but mainly in those countries that have had civil strife and re-emerging out of the civil war. And some of the reasons we talked about here tonight, when people flee the country and have to take refuge in exile, they stay for a long time before they can get themselves footed and come back to the country of origin. A lot of damage has already been done. So whether those ills in society are perpetrated by the government, influential politicians, civil servants, institutions, or just the general populace, will speak against it. So you are encouraged to join Bridge Radio Africa for Ashford Garley Live, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 a.m. GMT, with Ashford Garley, the host, and Volcano Shelton, the co-host. We're not having Ashford here right now because he's busy, and Ashford, I know he's longing to be back, but he'll be back soon. So again, we want to thank all of you, our viewers who were here with us tonight: Marian Harris Mingo, Marula Moore, Ford Morrison, Emmanuel Jackson, Jowiaton Ba, Justina Harris Bestman, Charles Dudu, that's Emmanuel Charles Dudu, Ibrahim Ma, Efason Kone, Sharp Melekebu, Alson Saba, Tata Johnson, Sakor Dean, Big Mom Mabel, Alfred Watamba, and just everyone, Jack Mush, Sakor Dean. We want to say thank you for joining us here tonight on Ashford Garley Live, Bridge Radio Africa. We're hoping to be back here on Friday. And as I said, Moses will be back in studio with us. We'll be discussing the issue of the coronavirus testing, arrival, and departure. That's a big one. And so some of you who've traveled, we'll hope that you'll come here on Friday to talk with us. Share your views, share what you experienced. We want to know, please. Okay, coronavirus testing at the airport in Liberia, arrival and departure. All right, that will be our topic on Friday. I look forward to seeing you folks. Thanks so much for being there with us this evening. It was a pleasure having all of you. It was good that we could keep company. We'll be back here Friday by the grace of God. Thank you again.